Hello, Seiiti Arata. The word problem comes from Greek and it means literally something that falls in front of you. But it can be some type of a difficulty, something that was unexpected and you have to solve. Therefore, it appeared in your life. And my question is, what is the easiest way for you to be solving a problem? Is it with violence? Is it complaining? Is it hitting your head against the wall or crying for help? You don't have to deal with unnecessary problems. When there is a misunderstanding, when we offend somebody, well, we have to apologize. When something goes wrong, we have to fix it. When something breaks, also, we have to put it back together or find a replacement. Solving a problem many times has a financial cost, an emotional cost, or a time cost. It also requires patience and effort. The best way to deal with problems is by avoiding them. And with that, I'll give you a personal example, something a little bit I'm not very proud of, but something that happened to me a few days ago. I had to make a sequence of phone calls because of my work. And when I had my first call, I was a little bit in a hurry and I didn't do a lot of preparation. So I just had a basic idea of what I wanted to say, what I wanted to ask, and what was the general purpose of my call. And when the other person answered the phone, I started to say everything that was in my head. And what was the result? Well, the other person was taken by surprise. He didn't really understand what was the reason why I was calling, and he misunderstood me, thinking that I actually wanted suggestions, which I didn't. And then I started to suddenly be negotiating and discussing all types of details, from the details of the order, the price, and the date, and even all those crazy suggestions that I was not prepared to receive. Because of that, I started to feel a little bit irritated because I was taken by surprise. See, I lost my temper and I was not able at that moment to put myself in the shoes of the other person. So basically, we had a misunderstanding and a certain level of frustration. When I finished that call, I took some time to realize what happened, and then I realized I had a problem. Because of my lack of preparation, I just had a very low quality interaction with that person. And now what I have to do, I have to solve my problem. I have to get back um, maybe another moment and explain like there was this misunderstanding, and so work on that relationship so our partnership is not compromised. Do you see the idea behind that example? So in this case, the problem appeared because of my lack of preparation. So now I have to put some effort, some time, and be dedicating myself to fix this problem and clarify everything that happened. So since it was still quite early and I had to continue my sequence of calls, before actually starting the next call and repeat the problem again, I paused a little bit to do a little bit of more strategy. So I took a few extra minutes to be thinking about all the points that would be important, what I would like to discuss, and also what would be the aspects of this project that would be the most important ones for me and the ones that I would be willing to negotiate and change my idea. So by doing that, I was considering the other person's point of view, what would be his expectations, what would be his needs, his fears. So it was not something that took me a lot of time, just a couple of minutes to do all this planning. And then I was much more prepared. When I called this second time for another purpose, it was such a different experience. The negotiation went smoothly and there was no tension. Everybody was happy, everybody was satisfied with the agreement. So you see the difference. In this second story, I prepared myself to avoid problems from happening. Prepare yourself. Before you start any activity, take a few minutes. If it's an important activity, an important task, or if there is something with a chance of going wrong, just do the minimum of preparation necessary. You can do that by visualizing the situation and imagining what would be the possible problems arising in that situation. And think about how you can do things differently. Think about how you can avoid the problems. Many problems arise because of a lack of understanding, because of a bad communication. So it could be a very good idea to be imagining yourself from the perspective of the other people involved in this situation. How probably they would be reacting. At the beginning, it's quite normal to have some difficulties doing this, especially if you don't have a lot of experience, if you haven't done this type of visualization before. And it could be that the first times that you try to do this activity, you will imagine a certain type of outcome, and then the reality is going to be something completely different. Don't worry, it's something that you can be training. You may imagine a certain way to solve your problems, but as you actually do the conversation, you might behave in a different way from what you expected. You may lose your temper and you may say things that you actually didn't want to say. See, but all these experiences, they will help you to improve your capacity to become better and better the more you do it. And this is therefore not something that you can implement overnight. This is a continued improvement process. This is a personal development process. Acquire skills. To avoid problems, you should execute your tasks with a high performance mindset. So what do I mean by a high performance? It means that you need to do everything that is required to do a good job. Only this way you will acquire a high performance level. All the aspects of this task, of the process, will all be under your control. And you also be aware, you understand also there are a few aspects outside of your control, and that's okay. You will be focused on the aspects that are under your control, so then you will not be taken by surprise. Also take a look at our video, How to Learn Anything Difficult. It will show you the path of mastery that we all have to follow to improve our skills constantly. Because if you don't possess this minimum required professional skill, it will be obvious that you will have some difficulties ahead. If you don't have the necessary skills to drive, well, it's quite likely you'll have a driving accident. If I don't have the minimum necessary skills for communication, probably I will be misunderstood. If somebody else doesn't care about his or her health, or not doing exercise, or not caring about what he or she eats, well, it's not going to be a surprise to have all types of health problems or fitness problems. If you are watching this video, I imagine that you are interested in solving your problems, and that is great. Now, that you know that the best way to solve problems is to avoid them from occurring, I would like you to think about this. What are the most recurrent problems in your life? What are the skills that you need to be developing in order to avoid these problems from occurring? Based on these answers, you learn what are the aspects of your life that you need to be working on. Next time you feel stressed because you need to solve a problem, stop. Make a pause. Reflect why and how did this problem occur? What could you do differently to avoid that problem from happening? What skills do you need to develop to reduce that problem frequency or to fix that problem? What kind of preparation do you need to take the next time to avoid this type of problem? A personal development process is fundamental to avoid problems, and this is why we have created a quick course dedicated to help you on your personal development. And you can visit the link arata.se/personal development.